Hey, and welcome to my channel. Let me show you my new coffee cup. Hold on. Ta-da! I didn't make it. I found it at Dollar General. This is what I figured. First of all, I love it because it's Queen Bee. And it's pretty. But I thought, as scared of bees as I am, I figure when I'm out on the porch, they'll read my cup and realize I am their queen and just leave me alone. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I had took RJ. He's still got that head thing going on, so y'all keep it up. He's going stir crazy. He can't drive. He can't work. He can't do anything except just sit at home. And so he was wanting to get out. So me and him went out and about the other day. Dollar General was one of the places he wanted to go. He likes the DG. And as soon as I saw this, I thought, I got to have that. That is such a pretty cup. But I was thinking on what we could talk about today. And these things that we talk about are things that are geared to me, and the things that can help me. My problem is going back and rereading my notes and putting them to use. That's kind of I didn't realize it until I said that, goes in with what we're going to be talking about today. But when I was going down the hall to get my coffee, hold please, it dawned on me, it's always Monday when I do this. And I thought, let's call it Motivation Monday. Is that cheesy? I don't know. Is it cheesy, Motivation Monday? I didn't do anything last week because I had RJ running him around to the different doctors and things. But that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to call it. So if it motivates you, good. And if it don't, I'm sorry. So what we're going to talk about today, ways to become more self-disciplined. That is a big one. I am so not self-disciplined. I will go off track at the drop of a hat, and I have got to learn better self-discipline. So that's why this topic intrigued me. Now, I'm going to be looking at my notes a lot because I wrote points down that I don't want to gloss over. And this comes from the Forbes website of all things. And if you can talk about being successful, I think Forbes is somewhere to go. So this talks about, mainly for us, it's our diet, our weight loss journey, but it's in other areas of our life too, like work or things around the home, anything that you need to have more of a discipline over. It can go for all of those things. I put time management. That's a big one right there, time management. It said, studies show those with higher self-discipline are more capable of dealing with goal conflicts. They make more informed, rational decisions instead of being swayed by, impulses and feelings. We could talk for days on how I am swayed by my impulses and my feelings. I am an emotional person. I get emotional over everything, even if it's not something to be emotional. If that pencil over there was out of place, I could probably get emotional about that. And my emotions and my feelings will cause me to impulse eat, to impulse shop, to just whatever. So to learn how to rein that in is something I've got to do. I've got to learn how, maybe I wear my emotions on my sleeve, but I've got to learn how to not always look for them to solve my problems. Self-discipline is a learned behavior. That's what I was just saying. I've got to learn it. It takes practice and repetition. That is part of building a habit. Practice and repetition. It allows us to make healthy choices, not emotional ones. That's what I was just saying. I was thinking when I was in the car, I went and did my walking this morning. I'm gonna tell you what, that's a discipline that I'm working on, getting up and going walking. And knock on wood, so far so good. I didn't realize, so I knew when I got in the car, it's chilly out here, but when I got out there, it was freezing. I don't know what the temperature was. It was freezing, and the wind was blowing so hard, my hoodie on my jacket would not even stay on my head. It was so cold. My hands on that walker were just, my fingers were froze between the vibrating of the walker on the sidewalk and the cold. My fingers were terrible. Listen, sidebar, if you know of anything, I have wheels on the front of the walker, and I just bought those slide things not 2 weeks ago, and it's already wore through. That sidewalk is eating up the plastic. If you know of anything, I've got to do some research, but if you know, that will go on the back legs of a walker to glide across concrete sidewalk and not wear down every 2 weeks, would you please let me know? I don't think tennis balls are going to work because they will probably, slide off with the friction, and it would wear the rubber down. If it wear that hard plastic down, I know it could wear, and I think it might grab. But anyway, if you know, what was I saying? Oh, that I'm making that a discipline of going and doing my walking, and I've honestly been doing better at it than I thought I would, because I actually have to put clothes on, get in my car, drive to town. Have to physically make myself do something. And it made me think that's what I was going to say. When I was on my way there, I was thinking about smoking. That is something that was a learned behavior. I learned how to smoke, and it became a habit. And when I quit, I had to quit. I had to just walk away. I had to, and food is what we're talking about, but then it could be smoking too. It comes into these different, there's like 5 things. It relates to that too, but I had to unlearn how to smoke, or I had to learn how to not smoke. That was hard. To not smoke when your habit is to constantly have a cigarette in your hand. I was over 2 packs a day. There was not a waking minute of my day that there was not a cigarette in my hand. That's just, that was my lifestyle. That's the way it was. I had to learn not to have a cigarette in my hand. I had to learn how to not light one up after I ate. To this day, and I have told y'all before, to this day, I still crave a cigarette. I do. And I quit back in 2005. That's how long I have been quit, and I still want a cigarette to this day. That is something I had to put into practice, a self-discipline for, is to not smoke. So you can apply that if you're trying to quit. I don't know how many times I tried to quit. I don't even know. Sometimes I didn't even, I'm like, yeah, you really shouldn't smoke, but I didn't even try to because I liked it so much. Listen, I'm one of them people, I love smoking. I ain't gonna lie. I loved it. I loved everything about it. If it wasn't so bad for my health and so expensive, I'd be smoking. I would. So anyway, let's start before we get into 400 hours on this. The first thing it says to do is remove temptations. Now, we have talked about that plenty. On our weight loss journey, we have to remove the temptation of junk food. Whatever the food is that is your trigger food, remove that food. I know we say it every single time, but every single time is important, because if it's not there, you can't eat it. Other things, like for your work, if you're trying to be more productive for work, or trying to manage your time to get things done at home, for school, maybe you're in school, is to turn off your phone or turn off the TV. It was saying there is an app called Self-Control. I don't know if it's like on Android or iPhone. I don't know. But it says it will block those, they call distraction websites like Facebook and YouTube. I guess you can set a timer on it or something. I didn't look into it, but that might be something you're interested in. So remove the temptation of the things that are going to cause you not to have discipline. 2, And it's funny how this one is in a excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. I was talking and hit a dry patch. It's funny how this one is in a discipline article. It's not about diet. It gives dieting as an example, but it's not about dieting. It's just about self-discipline in general. But it says to eat regularly and healthily. You can say that 3 times fast. Here again, studies. Studies show that low blood sugar often weakens a person's resolve. When you're hungry, your brain isn't working at full capacity. You can't focus, you get grumpy and pessimistic, and you have a weakened sense of self-control. Yes, if I am hungry, forget it. If I don't do these little preps on Sunday and have something to go to, and even sometimes when I have something to go to, if I get hungry, I get ill, I get hangry, I get, who cares? I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat. There's the pessimistic part. Well, I ain't going to never finish this up anyway. I ain't never going to lose this weight. What difference does it make? You hungry? Go on and eat. That's what happens when you don't keep your blood sugar regulated. It says eat regularly healthy proteins and healthy fats throughout the day to keep your brain fueled. It says let your brain focus on the task at hand, whatever you're trying to do, instead of your hungry belly. Don't take the focus away from what you're trying to accomplish. In our we're trying to accomplish losing weight. We're trying to accomplish getting healthy. So let's try not to take our focus away from doing what we got to do for that, because we're starved to death. Keep ourselves fueled throughout the day. Number 3. Now this, I need a drink on this one. I have a problem with this one. Don't wait for it to feel right. I'm telling you right now, it ain't going to. Improving self-discipline means changing your routine, and that can be uncomfortable and awkward. My name is Kim, and I don't like being uncomfortable. I don't like uncomfortable situations. I don't like to be physically uncomfortable. I don't like to be put out. I'm not a princess. Y'all know that story, Princess and the Pea, and she's on all them hundreds of mattresses, and she could still feel that pee up under there, and she was whining and complaining. Sometimes I feel like the Princess and the Pea. Listen, what I tell y'all all the time, ain't no sense to me sit up here and lie about this stuff, because I know there's at least one person watching who can identify with the stuff I say that might embarrass myself or make me look dumb. So be it. If it helps somebody, then I'll just look that way. But I don't like it. I don't like to be uncomfortable. This is talking about habits. Habit behaviors are in one part of your brain. I didn't write down the technicals. And decisions are in another part of your brain. So when behavior becomes a habit, we stop using our decision-making skill and go on autopilot. So breaking a bad habit will feel all wrong. When we do that habit, and it's just the bad habit of smoking. We talked about smoking, the bad habit of smoking. That was a habit, and my brain was programmed for that habit. My brain was programmed to get that cigarette when you're driving, to get that cigarette when you're through eating, to get that cigarette when you're doing a craft, because I've done crafts my whole life. Get that cigarette when you're washing dishes. Have a cigarette sitting in that ashtray, so in between drying or washing, you can take a puff. Your brain is programmed for that. It says breaking that bad habit will feel all wrong because the brain will resist what it has been programmed to do. The solution is to embrace the wrong. Keep trying. It's going to take time to reprogram our brain not to eat the crap food and the junk food and the food that we shouldn't eat, the food that is not healthy, the food that is not going to get us to where we're trying to get. And where we're trying to get is healthy, and we're trying to lose weight. We have a goal. We have a place that we're headed to. breaking that habit of giving in is not gonna be easy, and it's not gonna be comfortable, and it's not gonna feel right, and our brain is gonna be like, no, that's not what I want to do. But we have to just say, okay, if it feels wrong, then it feels wrong. What's that song? If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. We're going to have to tell our brain, if doing this is wrong, then we don't want to be right. We've got to be disciplined enough, and I'm talking to myself. I've got to be disciplined enough to say, okay, it's wrong. It don't feel right. It feels wonky. I don't like this. To just do it anyway, because I don't know the number on it. Somebody knows. I know how long it takes to make a behavior a habit. And that's what we have to do. That's the self-discipline part that we have to do. We have to do it how many ever times it takes to make that a habit. Now, this one, number 4, schedule breaks, treats, and rewards. Whew. This one is, to me, it goes kind of both ways. Some people schedule rewards of, okay, when I lose 10 pounds, I'm going to do a so-and-so. I cannot do that because I have told y'all before, and I'll probably tell y'all again, I'm not accountable to myself. That's something I need to work on. That's part of this self-discipline. That's something I need to learn, how to be accountable to myself. I cannot, I tried one time at the very, very beginning of this journey, 3 years ago. Yes, some of us are in the slow learners group. That I would, after, I think it was when I hit 50 pounds, I was going to get a new tattoo. I was never getting to 50 pounds. 50 pounds was never coming, and I wanted that tattoo. So guess what did I do? I went and got that tattoo. I didn't wait. I didn't make myself the delayed gratification of hitting that goal and getting that tattoo. I gratified myself immediately just because I'm not accountable to myself. So I cannot schedule at 10 pounds you get this, at 30, I tried it, 30 pounds you get this, at 50 pounds you get this, because if I want it, I'll just do it. That's just my personality, that's my nature, that's how it's going to be. But it says to still give yourself treats and rewards, and that doesn't have to be, if you can set a schedule, that's good. Go ahead and make you out a list of what you want to get when you get there. But if you don't set a goal, let's say one day you get up and you weigh and you're like, I hit 20 pounds, I think today will be my reward. I'm gonna, like it says, maybe go get a massage. It was one of the examples. Let me find where I was writing. It was talking about you don't have to go cold turkey hardcore or be a drill sergeant when you're starting on this new journey of self-discipline. And it's talking about the rewards. It says, and this, oh my gosh, this one is so true. Often giving yourself zero wiggle room leads to failures, disappointments, and going back to the old ways. Whew, boy, in the eating department, that is so true. Now, I'm not talking about trigger foods because that will send you back to your old way. Okay, example. When me and RJ went to the Dollar General, he was getting him some snacks, and as soon as you go in the door is the Little Debbie display. Soon as you go in the door right there with the buggies is the Little Debbie display. Oh, them evil people. And he was getting them. I said, oh, the spring they have butterfly cakes, and they have strawberry cakes, like the the zebra cakes. Well, they make them for all the seasons with the different pretty colors and sprinkles. Well, they have them like little sticks, he said, and they're strawberry with the white little crunchy, firm little textured fake ice and the sprinkles and the sugar crystals and all that. So he was getting his Little Debbie cakes, and I said, oh my gosh. I said, those are my nemesis. He said, do you want one? I'm like, no, I cannot. He goes, we were walking around the he said, well, or we got home, he was unloading his groceries, and he said, oh, there's those little Debbie cakes. There was unicorn cakes was one of them. I'm a sucker for that stuff. He said, well, do you want one? I'm like, no. One just makes me want more. He goes, well, do you want a bite of one? I'm like, no, I cannot even take a bite of one. So I'm not talking about rewarding yourself with a trigger food, because that is a reward that would send me over the edge. But reward yourself like it says, make Saturday you want ice cream Sunday day. Or if you went to the gym for a month, treat yourself to a massage, which I could use so bad. It says self-discipline can be hard, so reward yourself. So it's saying don't just like get the whoop out and, like Chandler says, whoop-ah. Don't do that to yourself. Allow yourself to have a reward along the way. Don't pin yourself in a corner that when you come out of, you're going to like go crazy. And then the last one, and probably the most important one of all, is forgive yourself and move forward. That makes me think of the quote on our tag. It was like, what's your favorite movie quote? And mine is from Rocky. It's not the short version of it is, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. I have been trying at this for 3 years. I've been trying to get that habit of eating healthy, and it's not stuck yet. So these are things I need to apply to myself, and I need to forgive myself for not doing it for 3 years and just keep moving forward. That's all I can do. It says changing your mindset doesn't always go as planned. That's what I was just saying. 3 years. You think 3 years was in my plans? No. This time of my life, I should have already lost the weight I wanted to lose in 3 years' time. I should be there now instead of still pretty much at the very beginning. There will be ups and downs, but the key is to keep moving forward. That's just what I said. Just acknowledge what caused your ups or your downs, or even acknowledge what caused your ups and repeat that behavior. But figure out what caused you to slip, what caused your downs, and fix it if you can and move forward from it and learn from it. It is easy to have guilt, anger, or frustrations, but these emotions will not help. Ain't that what I said at the beginning? I am run by emotions. I think as women, we are naturally led by our emotions. I think that is our natural way to do it. And I don't want to say we need to be more like men, because that sounds sexist, and I don't mean it to sound that way. But they tend to think more logically, and we tend to think more emotionally. And so when we can take the emotions off the table and think with that part of our brain, if we make it a habit, like it said, then we don't have to worry about decision making, because it like makes our decisions for us. We've gotten ourselves into that healthy habit. The emotions will not help. Get back in the saddle. The longer we're off our game, the harder it is to keep going in the right direction. Listen, do we not know that? The longer we don't do what we're supposed to be doing to get healthy on this journey, the harder it is to get back on track. I have said it. How many times I said that in this video? I'm trying not to be a broken record. But to me, every time I get off track, it is harder for me to get back on track than it was when I very first started. Because when I very first started, I was in that honeymoon period, and everything was exciting and new, and it was like, oh, what can I get for this many points? How can I whittle those points down? How can I get more food and more bang for my buck? And it was exciting, and it was new, and I was like finding new products and new recipes, and it was fun, I guess you could say. And then somewhere along the line, I got off track, and every time I would get off track and get back on track, and get off track and get back on track, it got less fun. It got less exciting. The honeymoon was over. So I've got to rekindle that love and that friendship with my healthy eating and get some new spark in it. I've got to rekindle it. I got to get some spark back in there. More figuring out fun ways to eat my food instead of sitting around lamenting the fact that I can't have the food I want. I am bad about that. That's part of my self-discipline, is I got to quit being so... I told you a while ago, I don't like being uncomfortable, and I don't like being put out, and I want things the way I want things, and I've got to quit being that way. There's nothing wrong with wanting, but you got to figure out how to get past them if it's not something that's good for you. I want a cigarette, but I'm past that. That habit is now to where, no, I don't smoke. No, there's no cigarettes in my house, so there's no temptation. And I know that it's not healthy for me to do, so therefore it's just a part of my life. I have got to figure out how to do the same thing with food. Food is so hard to conquer. When I want something, I want it. And when I can't have it, I have a pity party. Anybody else? Anybody have pity parties because they can't have what they want in the food department? I can't help it. It's who I am. It's how I react to food. And I'm not going to sit here and apologize for it, because it's just who I am. And it is part of what I've got to work on to figure out how to conquer it. I've got to think about how to have more self-discipline over food. And these are some things that I need to refer back to, just some ideals. There's not a roadmap. This was not a roadmap. This was not like step A, do this. Step B, do this. Step C, do this. And step D, you're there. Because it don't happen that way. If there were steps, I would be there. I would be sitting here in front of you saying, guess what? It's been 3 years. I lost 200 pounds. If I can do it, you can do it. No, it is not that easy. Some people, they've done it. I'm not one of those people. I am the person who has trouble, obviously, getting there. I'm the person that cannot sit here and tell you, well, if I can do it, you can do it, because obviously I can't do it. I'm the person that can sit here and tell you, just don't give up. Even though I want to give up. I want to give up. See? Classic example of how my emotions rule me. I'm not sitting here trying to cry pitiful to you. Things get on my mind. And like Sally on Third Rock, she talks about she's leaking. Sometimes I leak, and I leak for just stupid things. But I want to give up. So I'm the person that's going to sit here and tell you, don't give up. Not the one that says, if I can lose 200 pounds, you can too. I'm the person that can sit here and say, if I can keep going and trying and trying and trying and not give up, then you can too. Because it's hard. It is hard. That I have heard people say, and I'm not poo-pooing it, they say, being overweight's hard and losing weight's hard. Pick your hard. It's not that simple. I'm sorry. For some of us, it is just not black or white. Some of us are smack dab in that gray area where we can't do this way and we can't do this way. It's like we're stuck. And so we've got to work on our self-discipline. We've got to figure out, maybe make it a pride thing. I know pride goeth before the fall. I'm not talking about being prideful in front of other people. made me think. Oh my gosh. David, he was talking about something, and I said, no, it's like Dan said on Roseanne, we don't want to appear prideful before those that ain't have. So it's not pride in that way. Pride in ourselves. Being proud that we accomplished it, that we did something, that we said, okay, today is the day. I'm not gonna, let's see, I don't know, pick something. Today's the day I'm gonna quit eating blah, blah, blah. And every day, and maybe it's even harder to do if it's something that you have to have in your household because another family member eats it. It's not one of those things where it says throw away temptation. That's one of those things that it stays in the house because other family members have to eat too. There's things in my house that are not for me. They're for David because he has to eat too, and he's not on the same planet. Golly, my eyes just went blurry. He's not on the same plan that I am. He doesn't. He eats the food I fix him, but he eats other stuff for breakfast and other stuff for lunch and other snacks. And there's things that he has that I would like to have. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I'll sneak up and get it. I'll creep up on it and grab it. Let's say you got something in your house like that, and your discipline is to stay away from it, where you were creeping up on it and getting it. Be proud when you accomplish that. Have a sense of pride in ourselves that, hey, we did that. I am proud that I quit smoking. I'm not proud in a haughty way. I'm proud that I, with the addictive personality that I have, and we've talked about that before, there is an addictive gene. I got it. I have always been addicted to something, and currently, and a lot of times during my life, it's been food. Even when it was something else, it was still food as well. So that's just the kind of pride. And I think I'm kind of getting off going places. Listen, I can't. We were going somewhere way back when the kids were younger, and me and David were in the front, and the kids were maybe with mama or somebody in the car behind us. Oh, I remember now, we were going out to eat to a Chinese restaurant in a town far away. It was our favorite one, not there anymore. We got there, and RJ goes, Mama, if you tied your hands up, you couldn't talk. Because he can see me talking to David and talking, because we were probably in the pickup truck, probably, who knows. It might have been in my Escort, might have been in my Bonneville, who knows how long ago it was. I couldn't talk if I had my hands tied up, so I didn't have my coffee cup in my hand, I didn't have my notebook, so they started going. So I feel like I'm kind of veering down a rabbit trail now, so I guess we will just wrap this up. And I hope y'all don't mind if we call it Motivation Monday. I don't want to sound presumptuous that I am some big motivator, but I'm trying to find topics that maybe could help us along our way in our journey, because this road is a hard road to hoe. Hard. So I appreciate y'all, and I just want the best for all y'all. I want good luck for all y'all on your journey. And if you're having a hard time like I am, just hang in there. Don't give up. It's okay to want to give up, because I want to give up, but it's not okay to follow through with that. It's not okay to act on that desire. That's a self-discipline to throw that one in the ring. Don't give up. So that's all for today, and I will see you on my next video.